Thank you so much. Jonglei, Jonglei, South Sudan, South Sudan. Thank you so much, everybody. Please have a seat. Have a seat. Thank you so much. Honorable Anabas Nyokuja, advisors, ministers, members of commissions, and our members of parliament, our members of the Army, Division 8, General Akim, members of the Red Army, and all of you, the citizens of Jonglei. Thank you very much for being here. I'm very grateful and very thankful for all of you. Today, this is a great day. It's a day that marks the testimony of people who are determined to reclaim the land. This is the day. And you can imagine, you can agree with me, that before this day, the South Sudanese from all walks of life, there were so many conversations about a long suffering that the South Sudanese were facing under the government of Khartoum. So the May 16 was actually not the first day where this anger came out of their hearts. This anger was among them. They talked to themselves in their houses, in their village, in their towns, and all of them came to the conclusion that there is no solution to the bad treatment that our people were under than only to take up arms and shoot the bullet from the gun. That was the conclusion that they made. So they didn't just get up and say that we're going to fight. They took up their arms because they knew that all options have failed. They tried to negotiate with the Khartoum government. They tried to please the Khartoum government. And everything else, no any other option worked for them. The only thing that worked for them was that to take up arms and to determine their own destiny and their own future. Because of that decision, this is why we're here today. That was because of that decision. If they didn't make that decision, you and me would be still under that government that was treating our people so unfairly for so many years. They made the right decision. Can we say that? They did make the right decision. And I think this is why we're here. I want to tell you, my people of Jonglei and the people of South Sudan, that now the ball is in our hands. The older generation, they've done their very best. When they were fighting, they didn't have good shoes. They didn't dress up like me. Some of them didn't even have clothes on. Some of them died, they never seen the inside the school. Some of the women died, they never seen their husbands. When their husband left, they never seen them. But they kept on moving, hoping that the better day of South Sudan would be coming in the morning. And joy would be here in this land. And here we are today. So that struggle was completed with our independence. And let me remind you something that so many people always forget. That when our army were fighting from all our communities, all over South Sudan, our innocent people sent them up with bread and with food. With every little thing they get, they make sure that they contribute to something. So don't tell me somebody who sent you food and bread did not contribute. Don't tell me that. And we all applauded that the first generation who learned the first war, when the war was so tough on them, this war on them, there was a draft, where even some of the South Sudanese who didn't want to sign up into fight, they were drafted. But they did accept it because they know that they were going to do something better for them and for their children. That's what they did. So don't tell me someone like that did not contribute. Don't tell me that, pastors from all across South Sudan, from churches, from the missionaries who pray for the independence of South Sudan and who pray for the best of South Sudan. Don't tell me these people did not contribute. Yes, they did contribute. So the people of Jonglei, I want to tell you, all of us have contributed. This is the sacrifice that we all work so hard for. Without the sacrifice that we made, you and I cannot be standing here. So don't tell me that all of us here who have not been in that generation did not contribute. Yes, we did contribute.
Nina Pimoya, Nina Bakil, Nina Bekasum, Puluna, Nina Mood, Bakaram Junub, Nina Nuzawan.
Thank you so much. As you said, we all have contributed. Women, elderly, young and old, rich and poor, all of them have contributed to the independence of South Sudan. We all have done that successfully, but there is one thing that we are not doing successfully. Building a nation, we're not doing it successfully. There's so many South Sudanese who died on the hands of South Sudanese than those who died in the hands of the Arabs. Now we can say that. If we're going to die, if we're going to suffer on our own hands, what was the reason for us to fight for so many years? And why should we feel proud that we fight for this if we're not putting our house in order? And let me give you this. In other countries all around the world, there's things that are so universal, things that are very common in every country you go to. The reason there is something called jail, and everywhere in any country you find it. Jail is for people who want to tear down the country that every citizen fights for. Jail is something that is used to make sure that if you do something wrong, you're told that you should not do it. So that when you come out, you advise other people that it is wrong to do the wrong thing. It's not bad. But all of us in South Sudan, we fail to make sure that we implement our laws. This is what have been tearing our countries down. This is what every arguments in every South Sudanese community, in every churches, the only solution we find is that let's fight. So are we going to fight it to win? If you say that let's fight, keep in mind that when you took up arms to fight against the regime in Khartoum, you didn't say that let the South Sudanese fight themselves. You said that let us get our independence so that we rule ourselves, we lead ourselves with our own law. This is what we claim. And if we're not doing it well, are we going to blame the regime in Khartoum? Or who are we going to blame? Let's blame ourselves. So there is a need for us in any gathering like this to talk more about the way forward, not about what has passed. Because what has passed is gone. We'll never reclaim it. We'll never bring it back. But there's a need for us to talk more about the way forward, where we're going, what is tomorrow, and what we should expect. Those are the discussions that I always anticipate that we all should be engaged in. And that should start with us here in Jonglei State. The reason we are a state is that we have to make sure that we see the way that our state goes. We have to make sure that we call Jonglei State our home, and Juba, our country's capital. Our state is Jonglei State. But when we go to Juba, we meet with the rest of South Sudanese from all the 10 states. But if we don't put Jonglei in order, we're not going to put South Sudan in order. That's practically not going to happen. You can't tell me that you can say everything good in Juba, but you don't say it right here in Jonglei State. You can't tell me that you want to build a really good house, but you don't want to build it here in Jonglei State. That's practically not going to happen. You can try to do it by yourself, but you're never going to succeed. And one good example, from 2005 to now, for those of us who were successful in doing well, business people were doing so much well. Right now, they're not doing so well. Even if you're trying to keep what you have for yourself, but your neighbor, your brother, your sister are suffering, they're still going to take what you have. So it's better we do it good for all. Let's not do it good for some. I get so discouraged when I see politicians hoping that they can only do it for some and not for all. Because when you do it for some, it's just never going to go anywhere. It's never going to fit even your own family. Because we're all going to come into your family and say that we're hungry, we need something. So it's better that we open up for all of us. When I was appointed as the governor of Jonglei State, I told people that I'm not a normal governor. And what I mean is that if I see something wrong, I will say something. And if I see somebody do something, I will do something about it. I will not allow it to happen, as long as I'm still the governor of Jonglei State. I do that. So I do that not for me, not for you. I do it for even for the generation that will come after we're gone. So that the next generation will know that this is not the way. The way it is for all of us. A month ago, a young lady came to me. Her name is Aret. Aret Umot. Aret Umot, she's from the Anyok tribe. And Aret said that she spent 1 year looking for a job in Juba. She couldn't find it. She told me that everywhere she goes, every office she goes, she's asked that people don't know where she's from. That's what people tell her. They don't know where she's from. And she will submit an application, she will talk to people that she hoped that they would do something to get her a job. But all of that end up in vain. You never get her anything. She's from Alali, and you can see the distance from Alali in Juba, far away. And when she went to Juba, she left all her family, her relatives there. She was in Juba all alone with her uncle. She was blind. So you see, the history of Ayat is the history of every South Sudanese from every community. It's the history of everybody in this Jonglei State. You and I right now, you have your relative, you have your uncle, who's going through what Ayat have been going through. So until when are we going to keep doing this? The advice that I told Ayat at that time, I told her friendly that there's nothing I can do. I told her that let's go to Jonglei State. After we form our government, we will see exactly how we can work together to make sure that we solve the problem that the government can solve, and the rest that the citizen can solve can do. One thing she told me while we were talking, she was leaving, she told me that some people tell me that we did not contribute to the liberation of South Sudan. And so I told her that, you know, when you go and ask for a job somewhere, someday, I told her that take a photo of Dr. Jonglei, take a photo of William Yon, take a photo of Kerbina Kwanyu, take the photo of Yeshigak, and all those have died. Tell that person that this photo tells you who I am. Because these people, when they die, they don't die for some. They died for all of South Sudan. That's what they did. That was a hard sacrifice. None of them wrote that I'm dying only for my own family. None. They died for all South Sudanese. They died so that you and I can be here at a different time, at a different moment, celebrating that day of their sacrifice with their own families, with themselves. This is the day. And so, my people, let me tell you this. What you expect from people, the respect that you expect from people, that's what they expect from you. And as the governor of Jonglei State, I want to tell you one thing. If you are an elder who do not respect yourself, don't expect me to respect you. I have zero respect for you. Zero. God says that as young, respect the elders. If I don't respect myself, how in the world am I going to respect you? If you respect yourself, that's the same respect you're going to get from me. And I want to remind our entire government of Jonglei State that whatever decision we make, let's make sure that it helps 2-3 people. If you make a decision that doesn't even help one person, I'm not going to allow that decision to go forward. I'm not going to do it. You know, when I was appointed as the governor, I said also another thing, that we need to put the food on the table. What I meant then, it's not that we're going to have a lot of money that we're going to distribute, or we're going to have food that we're going to distribute. But what I meant is that I want us to work for ourselves. If you're a business person, if you are just in the village, I want you to work in your own village and make your own money and buy your own food in your own village. That's what I meant. And from that day, my first priority is that if we have road across this state or across South Sudan, that would put food on the table. I did believe that. And from the first day, there's no any office that I did not visit to make sure that the road is put as a priority in South Sudan. I started with our president, General Salva Kiir Mayardit. I had that discussion with him, just one-on-one, to make sure that we put priority on the road, that we connect all South Sudan counties and Payam with roads. I believe that if we do that, there is small business that will happen in Payam, in Burma. That small business would feed the entire South Sudan. I believe that, 100%. So in that case, when I had discussion with our president, he had accepted, and he told me the initiative that he put in place that did not go so well in the past. But I told him, Mr. President, let's keep trying. Let's keep trying. Not only that, I even went to other countries. There's no any country that did not go and talk about road. So I believe that that's the only way. We went to Djibouti and even asked them that when we have the road connecting us to Ethiopia, we should also have the train. The Djibouti government accepted that are now here in Juba, encouraging us that the road must be built between South Sudan and Ethiopia so that they can also connect the train road from Djibouti all the way to Juba. The MD of ARC, who's here with us today, he and I traveled to Ethiopia to make sure that we talk with the people who are in our party to make sure that we can get this job done. We went and made those agreements, and those agreements are progressing right now. When I came to board as the newly appointed governor, the years ago, I was in the water with you. When I was there, I was not joking. It was not a show. I meant it. And every time I come, I make sure that I check the date and how it goes. I did that because I know that the government of Jonglei State, we don't have the resources that I can say, let's do this and let's do that. We are depending on the help from the central government and from our friends, like the UN mission. But I don't think that this progress are individual progress. They're all of us is progress. Because if you do not stay here, if you do not work in the water, none of us could be here today. I believe that not one of us can take this credit and say that I did this, I did that. That's just simply not true. Even myself, I cannot claim that. That's why everywhere we go, I never say that I'm doing this. I believe that we together are working on it. And so with that, I want to ask all the people that have their houses along the road, and all the people that have their cattle and goats along the road, please remove your cattle. This road will bring you more cattle than what you have if we work on it together. This road will bring you more goats. President of the Republic of South Sudan, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, for allowing this road construction to go and will not stop here. It goes across South Sudan. And for he himself to come and witness it himself, to see the progress of the road. And one thing that we always forget in South Sudan, which I have been again from day one, that we should not rely on foreigners, we should rely on ourselves. That's why I have so much trust and so much hope in ALC company, because of the South Sudan made. It doesn't matter even if the work is so long, even if the seller doesn't come, they will not stop working. They will keep on moving because they know that they're just building their own country, even if nobody is paying. I believe that we should encourage our own local companies. We should prioritize our local companies than bringing the foreign companies. I think that we have all the expertise and experience that can do all of this. But the only problem that we have, if we don't work together, if you don't work with me or I don't work with you, whatever you want or what I want will not work. So we will stop. And so the citizen of Jonglei State, I'm not going to allow Jonglei to stop. Where the people of South Sudan, the rest of the 90 states will say, look at Jonglei, they're in trouble. Jonglei stop. Now we'll not allow that. This state will not stop and will never stop as long as I'm still the governor of Jonglei State. It will not. But the other thing is that I believe in all of you. I believe in all of you, one and every one of you. As I have been here, only the people that I do not know what they're doing and what they're saying to the nation. But for those of you that I know, I hear everything, even your own conversation with your small group, in your tea places, in everywhere you go, I hear everything. So I know some of you that are here to make sure that this great state move forward. And I know some of you who are trying to bend the rule and make sure that it only favors some and not for all. But let me tell you this, if you want to make sure that the progress that we are seeing now have to stop, the first thing you need to do is just work on removing me. When I'm out, then you can stop it. As long as I'm still here, this road construction will continue. To all the political gridlocks that are behind this road, I will be there. I will be there in Juba to make sure that this road construction will move forward. If there's any minister in Juba or anybody in Juba who thinks that this progress has to be stopped, I will be there forward to tell them straight up that it cannot stop. They have to keep going forward. Because I believe that this road will not only favor the people of Jonglei only, it will favor the entire country of South Sudan. As we sit here now, who does not know that there is a road in Numli? Who does not know Numli among all of us? But Numli is not in Jonglei. But because we know that it favored us as well, that's why we know about it. That's why we care so much about it. Why not do it through Jonglei here? I believe that if we stay straight up and we keep the pace and hope that the better day of Jonglei, the better day of South Sudan are still up ahead, we can get everything done. But if we get ourselves stuck in little small politics, we will never move forward. And if we don't move forward, don't think that your family will move forward. So this struggle will get all of us. So I believe that each and every one of us deserves the chance. If you're a young boy who doesn't have any father or any uncle, if you don't have any of your brother, I consider you're my brother. Whatever is the problem, however you're being put down, make sure that you get to me and you tell me how you're being treated. I'll be there for you. I don't think that doing the right thing is only when you expect something back. I believe that when you do the right thing, you do it for people who cannot reward you back. This is what I believe, is doing the right thing. If I do it for you because I'm telling you that you have to do something back for me, don't accept it. And if I do it for you because I tell you that you come and support me politically, don't do it. Since I've been here, I never talked to anybody. I never told anybody that you support me politically so that I do this for you. No. I believe in just you and I. If you're struggling on something and I have something to help you for it, I'll give to you. I don't worry about you doing anything for me or anything. And if you think that I'm doing something wrong, you come and say it straight up, and then we'll have honest discussion. And then tomorrow I'll be doing something better. But if you work under the table, I will handle you under the table. So to the people of Jonglei, this great day is not for us alone. It's for the people of South Sudan. And it is a sacrifice that your great-grandfather, your brother, that died in this country. They died so that you and I can be here today. And I'll make sure that the opportunities that God has given you, and will not allow anybody to stand on that way. If God has given you a gift, I believe that tomorrow will be your day. Today is mine, tomorrow is yours. And I work to make sure that we receive your gift tomorrow for you. I will not be on the way. So thank you for all of you who have come. Thank you to all the commissioners, all our counties. And I ask all of you to pray for our state and pray for our country. May God bless you. May God bless the Republic of South Sudan. Thank you so much. I love you all. Thank you.